What's up, iCkEdMeL? We're doing a late night session. Baby girl's sleeping, and I wanted to kind of push a little positivity news. The world's smallest baby left the hospital, and I thought this was pretty cool, man. His mother wasn't sure if he would survive, but after spending 5 months in the hospital hooked up to machines, the world's smallest baby has finally gone home. They said that the baby could basically be held in both palms of your hand, weighs slightly more than a grapefruit. And before we go further, the reason I wanted to share this story too is because in the news there's been that whole late term abortion, at term abortion talk, and people supporting that. And I think this is something great to share to show that miracles can happen. A true mother, I think, I'm not a mother, but I would think that she wouldn't want to give up on her child. This child would definitely fall under the conditions of, well, let's just abort it and get rid of it. You know what I'm saying? Let's just abort it, get rid of it. Yeah, I don't want to deal with the problems. You know what I'm saying? The terminology that was used in the New York law is very vague. This is coming from somebody that I've worked in hospitals for many, many years. I've worked in pediatrics. I've worked in chemo. And I'm not talking about like, oh, I just delivered the medication. No, I made the IV medications for these patients. You know what I'm saying? I was a really good tech when I was in the hospital. I still am a tech, and I've worked alongside with a lot of nurses, ICU, pediatric. Those nurses are amazing. Not all nurses are great, but the pediatric, the intensive care, they are amazing. They work really, really hard. And here's the interesting thing, right? It says here the unidentified boy weighed 9.45 ounces at birth, the Keio University Hospital in Tokyo said. So let me put that in a little bit of perspective for you. Okay, 1 pound, you know how many ounces that is? It's 16 ounces. 16 ounces. So the baby weighed less than a pound. How crazy is that? The hospital had to deliver the baby through emergency C-section, fearing for his life because his weight stopped increasing at 24 weeks of pregnancy. The baby needed a ventilator for respiratory and an umbilical catheter for infusion therapy. The infant's weight breaks previous record of German boy weighing 9.67 ounces in 2009. Since 1936, there have been 23 babies who survived preterm birth worldwide after weighing 10.58 ounces. 19 of these babies are females. The smallest girl was 8.89. And that's that. And for a little more perspective, CNN says here an average baby weighs about 7.28 pounds. My daughter, she was 6'8" or 6 something, 5.6 something pounds. And it says here after staying in the neonatal ICU for 5 months, the baby's weight increased to 7.1 pounds. He is now a healthy baby, discharged on February 20th. So congrats to the mom, congrats to the parents. Salute to you for not giving up on your child and sticking it through, because now you have a healthy boy. I also kind of wanted to talk about one last thing I came across. This study regarding autism, and this is for the mommies and even daddies. You can tell your the mother of your child. There's been studies that suggest now that taking prenatal vitamins during the first month of pregnancy can actually significantly reduce the chance of autism, especially in those people that have increased chance for autism. I have somebody in my family that has autism. This is a really serious thing, and I think it's important to kind of share this, and especially amongst some cultures, or even like black people. I don't say that to mean be offensive, but I've had people tell me different stories. For example, I spoke to this really young guy the other day that he was telling me about some of the things that he was going through in his life. And me being older, I kind of wanted to give him my advice and perspective. But a small part of that conversation was I was asking, like, have you spoken to somebody? Have you gone to some sort of therapy or anything? Sometimes talking to people helps. I've gone to therapy plenty of times for the different things that I've gone through in my life. It could be a waste of money, it could not, but sometimes it just helps to talk to somebody. And what that young man told me was that first he said he's black, which I knew, and his parents don't believe in that kind of stuff. They told him that if well he didn't they didn't tell him, but if he was to say something, they would tell him like, oh, he's too young to have depression or feel any of those things. So like it's a real thing, you know. I'm sure it's not just blacks, maybe even Spanish or certain cultures. They just don't believe in therapy. They think that you're crazy. And I think we got to get away from that, and we need to get ourselves checked out and our bodies. That's the reason why I bring that up. So here in this study, it says research followed 241 children whose older siblings had a diagnosis for autism. So therefore, they would have an increased risk of getting autism. The researchers evaluated children's development starting for 6 months through 3 years of age. At the same time, the moms who were asked through phone interviews and mailed questionnaires about prenatal vitamins. 1 in 4 of every children enrolled into the study went on to be diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. Similar to the rate of 1 in 5 for the younger children. Of those children whose mothers took prenatal vitamins in the first month of the pregnancy, 14.1% went on to develop autism, compared to the 32.7% in those mothers who did not. I think that's a big deal. It's something worth noting. First of all, I didn't even know that if you had a child that has autism, that your next child is at risk for more autism. But this study, which I saw on a couple different sites, it states that if mothers were to take prenatal vitamins first month, it'll significantly help out from the child having autism. So I think that's a pretty big thing. I don't know how it is with mothers. I know with the mother of my child, I was super involved. I was looking up, Googling everything. Both of us did everything together. The vitamins. We even had our own little sonar device to check for the baby's heartbeat, because a lot of mothers, especially when they have the first child, they get paranoid. Is the baby still alive? Is the heart beating? With Maddie's mother, she was paranoid about that. And I totally understood that, because I've known people personally that can't have children, and I've known people personally that have had stillborn births. Like at any time, the baby's heart can just stop beating. It's a pressure. It's a huge pressure. So like I know that stuff. I went through that. We got the devices and all that stuff. So this is for the moms out there that if you're planning, or if you're aware of your health, and as soon as you find out about the baby, you start taking some prenatal vitamins, it can be really helpful. And there's a ton of different brands, and sometimes they have like side effects. I don't know, constipation or different things. And I think it states here the most important thing here to make sure that most prenatals are going to have this folic acid and iron. Make sure that they have that. It says you're taking prenatal vitamins early was also associated with less severe symptoms and higher cognitive scores in children. So there's, you can't go wrong with taking prenatal vitamins at the beginning. There was some debate and some people saying that maybe it doesn't make a difference or not. But hey, if this study is saying that, and I've seen it across multiple sites, mommies, mothers, and it doesn't even cost that much for prenatals, take the prenatals as soon as you can and stick to it. That's just my thoughts. Have a good night, guys. Peace.